Damn it.
Welcome to Nintendo Dads, episode 450, recorded on October 26, 2023. Yes, I said 450. That means 50 more episodes, and we're at 500. On tonight's episode, we talk about Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Nintendo Will Nintendo, and free games. Jesse, you know what to do.
Wonderful! It's episode 450 of Nintendo Dads, and it is the 26th of Spooktober 2023. And hanging with me on the show tonight are Tim Off and Jesse Waldack, our usual cast of Nintendo Dads. Justin is Justining somewhere, and that's okay.
Justin will Justin.
He's going to Justin.
Just like Nintendo will Nintendo, Justin will.
That's right. We're going to talk about how Nintendo will Nintendo, apparently, here in just a few minutes. But Tim, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing good. A little bummed that I didn't get to hang out with you guys earlier today, but, with the special event. But I am happy to be with you guys here now. So excited to talk about some Super Mario Brothers Wonder with you guys. So
yes.
Oh,
it's been a wonderful week.
How you doing, Marty?
I'm here. I'm here.
I'm here.
I really
here.
like. I'm at this point. Honestly, today I'm on fumes. I've been up for a long time, and
me too.
5:30 is not a time I normally see in the morning. More of a 7 o'clock wake up call guy. So having a little struggle. Right here it's 8:30, and I feel like an old man. I'm ready to go to bed. So I put my walker by the bed and go and just slide right in. But Jesse, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling the same. I am already exhausted. Last night I went to bed early because I wasn't feeling good and was in bed for almost 12 hours. But worked was fine, and now we're here, and hopefully I continue to be fine.
Sometimes you just need a 12-hour sleep, right?
Yep.
And sometimes you just need a good dose of Nintendo Dads, episode 450. And so we've got several big things to talk about this week, including our impressions of Super Mario Wonder. Super Mario Brothers Wonder, which is a weird title. And we'll talk a little bit about that too here in just a minute. So, Jesse, you know what to do. Let's go to the news. Of course, our news is brought to us each and every week by you fine folks over at patreon.com/Nintendo Dads, where for as little as $1 a month, you can join up and be a part of the greatest, I said it, the greatest community of all time. Seriously, it's worth your time. Head over to patreon.com/Nintendo Dads. Join up over there. You can pay by the month if you just want to dip in for a little monthly look at what's going on, or you can do a year subscription. And if you do that, we give you a month off over there. Also, if you are an Amazon Prime subscriber, then you have a Twitch subscription free each month, and you can throw it our way as well. And you get access to the Discord just like the rest of the folks over there at patreon.com/Nintendo Dads. And you know what? I want to shout out a couple of people here that joined up this week for the first time, or, maybe for the third, fourth, or fifth time. And I'm looking for it right now. This is, you know what? Patreon. Can we just have a little chat right here? They have changed.
Yes.
Are you looking for RJ Kern?
No, not just him.
Okay.
But yes,
he re-upped. Thanks.
RJ Kern has re-upped as a Patreon producer. Whoop whoop. All right. Should we have some kind of special sound effect for Patreon producers? Jesse, do you got something over there?
I've never been asked for such a noise.
Do you have anything? that would be appropriate? There you go. There you go. I don't know what that was. It sounded like some sports ball nonsense. But yeah. Right. I love it. Fantastic. So we're going to start doing that from now on. If you become a new member of the Patreon, you can head over there and do that. Tim saved me here. I'm flailing. I'm serious. Like I'm going into my app. I'm trying to recognize people who are important to us.
Right? I know.
And they've made their freaking app so stupid.
Well, if you haven't mentioned it already, Patrons also get the ad-free episodes.
Yes.
So they also get that. So for just $1, you don't have to hear us do a horrible job at ad reads, except for Justin. He does okay.
Literally over there on that, 0 ads. No ads.
Yeah. So
none.
I after we're done with the show, Jesse gives me the show and I cut out the ad read so that and all the other automatic ad reads that people normally hear, you won't hear it if you're a Patreon subscriber for just $1 a month or $10 a year. So, or $11 a year, whatever it is. So, that you can pay, annually, and it's only $11 and you get
that's right,
ad free.
Well, apparently Patreon's entire notification system this evening has crapped the bed. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to shout out RJ Kern again, brand new Patreon producer or returning Patreon producer, and also Emily Smith, now a member over at patreon.com/NintendoDads as well. She has joined up as well. And that's awesome because guess what, guys? That's brings us to a good point that you don't just have to be a guy, a dude, or a dad to join up and be part of the Patreon. You can head over there as good friend of the show and Patreon producer Jacqueline Amira has attested to. It's okay to hang out in the Discord with the dads, right? Yep. So anyway, one more time, patreon.com/NintendoDads. Go over there. And we do not take it lightly in this economy that you spend some of your expendable income on us. I promise. It's really special that you would do that. Thank you so much. It helps us do things like make sure all of us have a copy of Super Mario Wonder. Let's talk about it. All right. Guys, right now, I think almost everybody is buzzing about Mario's latest adventure to the Flower Kingdom. Super Mario Brothers Wonder dropped last week as we were recording the show. Jesse had already had it because he's a time traveler from the future, and he had gone there to get it and brought it back to our time and played however much of it and recorded his experience. But then on Friday,
technology only works for up to maybe a day. So
not a great time traveler. I wouldn't call it traveling. It's more like meandering. Meandering. So on Friday, the rest of us plebes got access to Super Mario Brothers Wonder. And since then, it's gone gangbusters. Plebes, plebeians. What'd you think I called you?
I couldn't hear what you said. I was like, I heard something. We were something like.
You think I called you a pube? Because I wasn't going to call you that.
No, it wasn't.
I wouldn't do that. You're a friend. I wouldn't call you bad.
I knew it was an E in there, not a U.
I didn't call you P. I didn't call you peen. I called you plebe. Right. Because you and I got it on Friday, like plebes. Yes. All right, like plebeians. Since then, it's gone gangbusters. Europe reporting that Super Mario Brothers Wonder is the fastest selling Super Mario Brothers title of all time in Europe. It came in second, only closely behind Spider-Man. In Japan, they are reporting 668,000 physical copies. Don't even know about digital sales, which really probably means combining sales across the world that Mario Wonder is already a million seller. Probably
just in Japan, it's at least 1 million already.
I would say multiple million seller already. I would really be interested to see how fast this has come in, and especially positioned the way it is for this holiday season with Nintendo, with like the 1-2 punch of Mario RPG and Mario Wonder. How this is gonna sell And I even saw the other day, I was at my local Walmart. They had not only the regular Switch OLED, or I'm sorry, OLED model, as they would like us to call it. They also had the Zelda OLED model and the Mario OLED model as well. They're stocking up for Black Friday. And they also had some of the new Animal Crossing Switch lights as well, which I don't need a Switch light, but I want one because it has cute little animal designs on it. But anyway, let's talk about Mario Wonder. You guys.
Yeah, so I was going to say, I don't know if it's next week or the week after, but we're going to get Q2 results, which will not have Wonder in it, but they'll probably have some indication. They'll announce it somehow that Wonder sold so many million.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You guys have had, and I don't know, Tim, I have not had what I would call extensive handheld or hands-on time with it. Jesse has completed the main part of the game. Tim and I will confidently say we've completed World 2, and I went on and completed World 3, which actually is just a world full of trials, which is kind of weird. But let's talk about this. What do you guys think? First hands-on impressions. Jesse, you spilled a little bit last week, but you saved a lot for us. But now that you've had to sit with it for 7 days, what are your thoughts on Mario Wonder?
I still think that the second stage with the singing piranha plants is, I'm not ashamed to spoil that now. That still makes me so happy.
Yes, I agree wholeheartedly.
So I went into it because you primed me for it. You were like, just something happens, and you were like, that's weird, and that's weird, and that's even weirder. And I thought it was brilliant. Yes.
Yeah.
It was so magical.
Yeah, I did have to look up where 2 stages were in World 4, but other than that, I was able to find all the hidden stages up through. I'm calling it World 7, even though the game doesn't. What I mean, World 7 is that middle area that is connecting all the other 6 worlds around.
Yeah.
It.
So the game's given me all the same warm and fuzzies I felt when I beat Super Mario World. And then I didn't play Super Mario Brothers 3 until after World, much later on when it came out on the the Game Boy Advance, when they did the re-release of it there. That's when I played Super Mario Bros. And beat it there, 3. And I thought that was a wonderful game too. And so it gives me, it's when I first saw Wonder, I was like, this looks like it's got both World and 3 elements in it.
It does.
I would agree with that.
And some people, even I saw over the last couple of days, have even been calling out that they see a lot of Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze elements as well, like a lot of influence.
Heard that too. I didn't play that, so I wouldn't be able to call that out. So
and having played it, I could kind of agree with that.
Okay.
There's some nice like back and forth, I would say, like some sharing, particularly in just certain ways that the worlds have little things to them.
Right.
Like I think one of the biggest comparisons is Donkey Kong. I think Country Returns and Tropical Freeze both had elements where they had silhouetted stages.
Okay.
Where everything in the foreground was dark, and then in the back, and it may have been in the older Country games as well. I can't remember. It's been a while since I played them.
Well, they did do that in 3D World as well, I think.
They did, and they did it in Mario in 3D Land as well.
Okay.
But this really, like playing it in 2D, like really the Donkey Kong reference shines through. Other thing is too that like
even the 3D games, it kind of gives you that feel when it does the whole foreground background stuff too. So
yeah, there's things in Wonder where you like have like golden spots in the ground that shine and let you know, hey, you should ground pound here, or you should throw a shell here, or whatever. Those were plentiful in Donkey Kong Country.
Okay.
I would say that one of you used the word magic. Yeah. And I can say that while I enjoyed the new Super Mario Brothers thing. Like I remember playing New Super Mario Brothers on the DS Lite for the first time
Oh,
and
yeah.
thinking, "Oh my gosh, this is so awesome!" Like that they brought Mario, like they brought this out. Now it has this new art style. But I never, never in that whole time said this is magical.
Right.
Like it felt a little vanilla, right? I've said it multiple times in Wonder. Like there's like a smile on my face as I'm playing. Not that I didn't enjoy it. And I've seen a lot of people this week on both sides of the aisle, like either throwing New Super Mario Brothers art style in games under the bus, or like, oh, you didn't throw it under the bus until Wonder came along. I think there's valid criticism on for both sides of that.
Yeah, I agree with you. You know, the DS game was good because at the time it truly was new. But when we got, you know, we had new 2 on the 3DS and the 3DS game or the Wii U game like a week apart. Like, yeah, it got stale at that point. And I believe I said that back then. This feels stale.
I think that where it really got like people noticed that it was stale was the Wii U version, right? The new Super Mario Brothers U. It didn't really like do anything that the Wii version hadn't done, even as far as level design. Even there was just new power ups. It didn't advance the concept,
and less coins than 2.
Yeah, the coin thing. At the time, if I look at that time period of Mario games, the game that really advanced Mario more than anything was 3D Land for the 3DS.
That's one of my favorites. That 3D Land.
I really wish that game would get ported to something because I love it on 3DS, but I'm afraid one of these days, we're all going to have broken 3DSs or they won't power on anymore or whatever. And those, you're going to have a whole like cadre of games that's going to be lost. Unless they're somewhere.
We need it ported to a Virtual Boy too.
Yeah.
The 3DS Classic will be out when in about 10 years.
Yeah, they'll take care of that.
They'll take care of it. Yeah.
So far though, what are some things that you're finding in Wonder that just like this works? Like wow.
A lot of things I want to mention or don't want to mention yet because they are past World 4.
That's fine.
Yeah, so kind of hiding.
I like the overworld and how they allow you to, it's kind of a mix of linear and then you can pick kind of which worlds you want to go to first in certain sections and stuff like that. I kind of like that even though it's not much of a bigger difference, it's still
it gives you a choice of what to tackle first.
You get to have fun with it, go with what you want to go to. But
if we end up with that level that everyone fought with last week on the table, that was the one.
That's what I was just about to mention.
Yeah, you can bypass that one and go back later.
Not that course, but all of us on the dinner table got together and played Mario Wonder. I created a friend code and all that, or a friend area, and we all got in and we all played all the levels we wanted to all on our own, but then we can come help each other out in some way or whatever and just have a good old time. Like while I was sharing the screen or whatever, people could see what was going on. That right there, the ability to play online, and it's not necessarily people getting in the way of each other, it's just having a blast is probably the biggest thing that stuck out to me. And I'm still waiting to do local co-op type play with my family. We haven't gotten around to doing that yet, but
and we didn't try the race mode.
Yeah. But it was a blast.
So I did put in a lot of time in local mode over the weekend, because the Target demo or demo station did one thing positively, and that is that my wife picked up a controller and played her first Mario game in a long time. And, I think she was trying it to humor me. But she played those first couple of levels on the demo station and said, I think I could play this. I think I would enjoy this. And so when we took my daughter to dance last Friday, we normally go and sit in a coffee shop for a couple hours. So, well, she had a little more extended practice time this time. So that we were there for, 3 hours or so. And she said, are you going to bring your Switch and can we play Mario Wonder? And I actually, we got it home and I was getting ready to like boot it up and play it for the first time. And she's like, are you going to care if I join in? And I was like, no, absolutely
awesome.
not. Like and I'll tell you what it all comes down to is the lack of collision physics when you're playing together. Because she's always enjoyed Mario games. But when we tried to play New Super Mario Brothers, we ended up quitting because we were frustrated, right? Because she would not say this, but I will. And I'm trying to be like, I want to be really nice about it. But I would not, like, when we're not at the same skill level, let's put it that way. Like platforming games are my jam. I love them.
Right.
I'm looking forward to playing some race levels online because I like that type of thing. Like I can figure out how to run through a Mario level. But she wants to slow down and explore, and she doesn't want to hold the Y button the whole time and time her jumps and do all that stuff. But she was still having a blast playing it.
Yeah.
And so, before it's like, all right, we got to have the propeller cap and you've got to jump. You better shake the Wii remote, all this stuff. This time we were able to make it through levels with minimal casualties.
Right.
No yelling. And that was huge because I always I want my wife to play video games with me.
Mm-hmm.
I would love for her to be interested in video games like I am.
Right.
But, or like some of the spouses on the show are, but she's not. She's a reader. Then that's okay. That's who she is. Yep. But we played the entire first two worlds of, and part of the, the pedal aisles together. And I've gone on, but she has her own save file that we are going back to and we're dipping into and playing. And just that to me is
that's it all right there. Yeah.
Absolutely. Sure. And I think that I really think that we could probably play 3 or 4 of us as a family. And I think that that's important because if Nintendo wants to capture the family that went to see Mario in the theaters, what are they going to want them to do? They're going to want them to play the game together to create new Mario fans.
Yes.
Right? So this is a way of doing that. I saw some people that were like, at least one article that I saw, and I can't remember where it was from, that was like really down on collision physics were what made it fun. No, collision physics were what made it really frustrating.
Yep.
Because I don't want to die because of someone else.
And also, too, it's hopefully they remember if they like the collision physics, they can always go back to that game. Because obviously Deluxe was brought to the Switch, so they can always play that. And then now we have this version that maybe other players will be more comfortable in playing than the collision ones. I get it. Have the collision ones for those, when you have all your friends over that are great at platformers and you want to have a good time, goofing around with that. But when you got people like your wife or anybody else, or even younger kids or gamers at any level who don't want to compete to play with you, they just want to have fun together, this is a great way to do it. And like you said, Marty, a great way to, like you said, the bonding you had when you went to see the Mario movie, now you can have the bonding with the game. So
yeah, I wanted to
something my son showed me a TikTok of the end part of that singing Piranha Plant level, but they gave the song lyrics that actually fit the level very well. Like it was like self-referential, like they were singing about themselves, and it was really cute.
That's awesome.
That's fantastic. I wanted to ask you guys this about the game. Do you feel like having sat with it for a little bit, does this feel like a reboot of sorts? of Mario. And what I mean by that is you have brand new art style, brand new setting, brand new cast of characters, right? Brand new voices for main characters. Lots of subtle differences in how things play. I don't know that I am prepared to call it like an entire reboot, but I think a soft reboot of the 2D series.
Yeah, I would definitely say it sets a new bar. Like, if the next one is somehow less than this, it will get criticized to hell. It needs to at least be this good, which is going to make it really hard to make the next game.
I don't call it necessarily a reboot. I think it's just an evolution of the series, like what we saw from 1, 2, 3 to Super Mario World, and then the games that came after that. So I think this is just another evolution of what we see Mario doing in the Mario games in the 2D world. So, but I agree with you guys that this sets a high bar for the next one for sure.
I think that I agree with Jesse. The bar has been set really high. I would play a million billion Mario games like this one. I do think that there's room for DLC, and I would welcome that. I would welcome that. I would be okay with DLC. The
Mario Maker 3 featuring this.
yes, or some of these concepts.
That's crazy talk.
The elephants, some of the enemies. What was I going to say? That one thing that I think is so interesting about this is that there were a team of 5 people who developed the original Super Mario Brothers. 4 out of those 5 worked on Mario Wonder.
Isn't that crazy?
It's an incredible testimony to the staying power of these employees at Nintendo, but also it's incredible to think that they still have that creativity, right? And I love
the time to do that too.
Yes, this game did not have a dev time limit. They didn't have a push. There was no crunch.
They also didn't have to write it in assembly.
That too.
If anyone who's seen what 6502 assembly looks like, it's probably one of the easiest processors to write assembly for, but still, it's assembly.
Yeah, you're speaking
assembly
to me. Tim knows what you mean, and I'm sure that. But I guess, and I see this in our chat, Koopa Kid 80, who's following along with the show right now, said the old guard is passing the torch, and I kind of see that like maybe this is and when I say reboot, the other word that comes to my mind is revival of the fun, whimsical Mario that's not afraid to try new things and be and have some wonder about it, right? I'll be honest with you, that I was not totally sold on the whole thing until I played it. And I think that's the cool thing about most Mario games, right? Is they're so well made that most people say that. Like, I don't know about this. Then they put the controller in their hands and it's all she wrote, right?
That's how I was about Odyssey. It was like, because it's hard for me to get into the 3D stuff.
Yes.
When I play Odyssey, it was like, oh, this is wonderful. So
yeah, and yeah, I mean, like, I was not sold on the Odyssey concept. I'm like, what is he in New York?
Right.
Why are we not in the Mushroom Kingdom? Why are we possessing enemies? And then I played it, right? As they say in the wrestling world, and then the bell rang, right? Like, it's.
But we can remind everybody too that if they are on the fence about this at all, if all this love that we're given isn't enough for you, go to one of the stores that has it on demo. Try it out for yourself. Because that's what pushed me. I mean, I was already going to get it, but it was pushed me to.
When I played that first taste of the demo, I was like, I was a kid waiting for Mario 3 again.
Yeah.
And one thing that surprises me in today's gaming is we're on day 7 of this game's release. No patches. What is on the cart is still the best version. 1.0.0.
Nobody subbed in the Mushroom Kingdom flag for the Flower Kingdom flag in Mario's apartment, is what you're saying.
Not yet, at least.
That is amazing. I'm glad you brought that up because
when I heard about that in Spider-Man, I was surprised. Like, how can you mess that up?
Exactly. Yeah, it's like
I couldn't tell the difference between the two. But of course, but if you're developing it and intentionally putting a country's flag in there, you'd think you'd want to research on the flag.
Research, yeah. And Koopa Kid brings this out as well too. That he says the same thing's happening in the Zelda franchise. There's a passing of the torch. It's becoming something completely different. I would argue with Dread, Metroid is becoming something different. When there's got to come a point, and I think Wonder is kind of like a shining example of this, where Nintendo is going to have to pass the torch, and I would rather them do it in this way before they have to, because it's always easier to pass the torch or pass the baton when you don't have to than when you're forced to, because somebody's dead or are injured or incapacitated. God forbid any of that happens.
Well, Doug Bowser, when he did his interview, talked about how long employees stay there with Nintendo, because it came up with the whole union thing and stuff like that in his interview. Like he answered it really well, where he was like, Nintendo would support a union and supports companies that want to do a union or whatever, people that want to do a union. But he said, I don't think people would do it here because essentially, well, not quoting him exactly, but essentially it's like, why would they? It sounds like they're being treated well already there, and people stay there for a long time, as you just said, Marty, with those 4 original, designer developers there working on Wonder.
No, it is the Japanese culture more versus the American business culture. Though Nintendo does have some of the Japanese even in the NOA, but still NOA is stateside and does have separate ideas of what's normal.
It does,
but,
yes.
Yeah.
But even some of the employees there on the stateside have been there a long time too.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
In fact, my company even we had an IT all hands meeting, and at the end they rattled off the anniversaries, and we had like 12 or 20 people that had 35 years. I'm like, I'm not that far yet, but I'm getting close.
So I think we can all agree that Wonder is wonderful.
If you don't have it and you're getting it for Christmas, hopefully you are, or you have it on your Christmas list. It's
if we're making
all your time on your Christmas vacation playing.
Yeah, listen, if we're making a Nintendo Dad's gift list, and we should make Nintendo Dad's Christmas gift list, this is going to be on there on our list of games. It's fantastic, fun family game. You can play it. Anybody can play it. There's something here for everybody. And if you haven't yet, you need to go check out Mario Wonder. And I can't wait for the next couple of days when I have some uninterrupted time to dig into it. But not all is well in the land of the big Nintendo, of the big N. Nintendo stirred the pot this week.
And this isn't just an OA. This is worldwide.
Yeah. I really think that this is not let's rephrase that. This is coming from the big N. It's coming
it's coming from NCL. Yes.
Yeah. It's coming from NCL, which is the Japanese mothership. Nintendo updated this week both its tournament guidelines and content guidelines for content creators. And to say that nobody's happy is probably an understatement. This is some stuff that maybe you don't think about, or maybe don't get into if you're not active in the Smash and Splatoon communities, or Mario Kart community online, or you're not a content creator. But this creates some pretty serious concerns for those who do enjoy those communities, as well as us, since we're content creators. And so we're going to dive in and give you kind of a flyover view of what's going on, and then kind of talk about it. Updated tournament guidelines proposed by Nintendo or put into effect by Nintendo this week, as summed up by Stephen Totillo over on Twitter. Nintendo now permits tournaments of up to 200 people in person and 300 online, which we'll stop right there. Those are awfully round numbers for tournaments that usually, are 16, 32, 48, things like that.
Well, I think, most local, small run tournaments aren't going to reach these numbers, but you know what did reach those numbers and greatly exceeded them? Evo,
which is owned by Sony, which needs to be said. Okay, so
pre that acquisition, Smash was probably their mainline game.
Absolutely.
Now I don't even think Smash is run anymore.
I didn't think they ran in it last year, so
I don't think so.
Nintendo put the kibosh on that pretty well. So these tournaments of 200 to 300 can be permitted, but they cannot. Number one, charge online spectators. In other words, they cannot charge money for online spectators to watch. They cannot offer prizes over $5,000. They cannot sell food or drink. And they must require an X or YouTube subscription to watch. I'm going to say this. Some of the other ones I can understand. But how in the world can you not sell food and drink?
That's perplexing.
You're going to tell people to sit there all day and not eat?
Well, my son hasn't done it since pre-pandemic, but he did do a few Smash tournaments. And where were they held? In a restaurant that had arcade machines.
If you remember back in October, earlier this year, earlier this year, we held a Smash tournament here at our church. And guess what? We sold food and we sold drinks. We weren't trying to make money. All we were trying to do was pay for the food and drink we bought.
Right. Yeah.
The whole reason we did the tournament was not to make money, although we did give a prize to the winners. But the money that was, we charged $5 for people to play. All right. So
and that still fine according to these new rules.
But we couldn't sell food.
You couldn't sell food. Yeah. I think they can charge up to $20 for entrance, $15 for spectators. Spectators' money cannot be used in the prize pool, only to help with the cost of running the tournament, of which you cannot profit. You have to either break even or take the loss.
So what do you do if you profit? You just have to give them
$5. Oh no, here comes Nintendo.
No, but you can't give out prizes over 5,000, so you can't take in more than 5,000.
Some of this makes absolutely no sense. Here's a question from our community. Mecha Dragon asked this: based on Nintendo's new policies regarding esports and tournaments, do you feel like it's their way of basically saying we don't want any part of esports at all?
That's probably a good summary. Yeah, they don't want people making money off of their IP. They don't want people playing the game in a way that they don't want them playing the game. They want you doing it from your house, not, to make a spectacle of yourself.
But why would they? It's free publicity. People love Smash Brothers. People love competitive Smash. People love competitive Splatoon. People love competitive Mario Kart. Why not capitalize on that? And not just through Nintendo Versus, not just through your official online tournaments that you sign in and play and maybe win a chance to show up to some random one-off live event and play against a bunch of streamers or something. It sounds like to me is
anybody's going to have to worry too much. I think it's going to be for anybody who gets bigger than they need to be. Then you'll get Nintendo knocking at you.
We've been asked this question: how can Nintendo enforce this? Cannot anyone create a tournament? I don't see Louisville get upset that their bats were used by a team that rushes the mound. But also,
and like other weird things. Obviously, they're not allowed to make a profit, meaning that even the person organizing it can't make, it cannot be their job to run a tournament. He's got to do it on his own dime as like a hobby.
Well,
and
the point's being made in our chat that they don't want the controversy associated with tournament personalities, because there's been some very negative things that have come out over the last 5 years or so.
But people, I agree with that statement, but no one's ever blamed Nintendo for someone being a jackass in a tournament. They might have blamed the tournament organizers, but they definitely blamed the jackass.
To me, this kind of reinforces their mindset of, and Sakurai has said this over and over. And I talked to my son about this week because he was a little upset, which he doesn't play in many Smash tournaments. But anyway,
well, I was, as you can tell, I am upset about this, and I don't play online. I don't play multiplayer.
He said, my point to him is that this is Nintendo reinforcing their belief that Smash is not for competitive play. They just want you playing with friends in friendly matches.
But this isn't limited to Smash. This is also Splatoon. This is also anything else that you might be able to organize a tournament over.
So my thing
because Nintendo wants to be the ones to do the tournaments too.
Yeah.
So
is it so? Here's some loopholes that I'm already seeing in this. Like, so in my entrance fee that I charge for a tournament, could that entrance fee cover food? I'm not selling food. I'm providing it as a service as part of your registration.
As long as it doesn't go over $20 a person or $15 for spectators, I would say yes. You're not selling food. You're giving the food free as part of the entrance.
Exactly. It's free.
You just can't buy an extra can of Coke. Yeah.
Can't. Okay. And then here's another thing. Can outside vendors sell food or drink?
I would say no.
But the tournament organizer is not selling food or drink.
It might have to be off-prem, like a food cart outside.
I think that's what they want.
What if I charge you to come hang out to do all these things, and then, hey, look, I have a tournament here going off on the side for free.
It doesn't make any sense, and y'all, it's garnering a lot of ill will toward
what I'm afraid of too is this. Obviously, I didn't sit here and read through everything word for word and figure out what exactly is going on here. I'm basing, I don't know about you guys, but I'm basing what I'm seeing here on what somebody summarized. I know there's more to it.
I've seen a Game Explained video about it. I've seen a good Vibes gaming video. The latter actually did read in verbatim most of it.
Okay. And I mean, I don't know. What I'm trying to get at is that there's probably more to this than what we've had time to really download here. So
can I ask this? What is the tournament? I don't know that y'all would know this, but what is the tournament culture like in Japan? Because Nintendo of Japan is the one that Nintendo Mothership is the one making these guidelines.
Right.
So
I would not know.
So how much of the outside culture outside of their country around tournaments and these kind of gatherings are they just missing in context?
I know the arcade scene, like in the late 80s, early 90s, was still pretty big. Like it started dying in North America before Japan. I don't know if it's what it looks like today, but there are definitely competitive people out there. I just don't know what the competitive scene in Japan looks like. I haven't heard anything.
That's a good question.
I would be interested to know, like, is there something that they see that is a cultural difference? Because again, Nintendo is a Japanese-led company. And so if they make some kind of crazy to us or weird to us decision, it might make perfectly sense to them and their culture. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yep.
wouldn't come out of my mouth. And so I'm not trying to like brush it under the rug. I'm just saying that maybe there's something here. I couldn't imagine what
They're
it would
definitely
be.
wanting to control things, obviously. Yes, for sure. But that's the thing is like we were joking about, maybe there's some loopholes or whatever, but there's probably something there that helps people who really are trying to do something good here to get the certification to do it and do it right. Go for it. But at a smaller level, the bigger things are left in Nintendo's own versus things.
Well, it's Panda, isn't it?
If
Is
they
Panda
still
the
have a
one that
relationship, but I thought it's been a lot of back and forth with Panda or
I was under the impression that maybe that's who they were going with moving forward. But I'm like Jesse, I don't follow the Smash competitive scene or Splatoon or any of that. I'm not good enough. No, number one, but number two, I don't like that environment. It's a high pressure environment. It's not my thing. Now, if that's your thing, fantastic. I hate this for you.
it makes it less accessible too, because not a lot of, like your local places could do this. Maybe they can't now because they had a bigger turnout that was, like 500 or more people.
That reminds me of one of the rules, I think, is you have to use a Nintendo sanctioned controller, which, yeah, that makes sense. Most of us have them, but you're taking out the people who need special third-party controllers just because of, say, a disability.
Right.
You are, but on the other hand, there are people who show up to Smash tournaments, and I know this from experience, from talking with some people, that they show up with modded controllers that allow them to do things that, and like they get good at hiding that.
That's true too. Yeah.
And so you have to, it's one of those situations almost where you have to throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? Like, because
exactly,
you can't, how are you going to say to somebody, no, you don't have a disability?
Yeah, that's rude.
You're not going to say, because anybody can walk up. I'm not saying that people would do this, but also people used to hire disabled people to go to Disney to skip lines. So I'm just throwing that out there.
People do stuff like that. Yeah. Because one of the things I used to do when I lived at my previous home was I was on the condo association board, and people would try to scam our system of having multiple pets because they would say it was a service pet, even though it technically may not have been. But we can't sit there and say,
because you can go online on Amazon and buy a jacket that says service dog.
You can do that. You can go get a certificate and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we had a lady that came to our church that did that, who had a dog, and it would like try to eat food off people's plates. And I was like, that's not a service dog.
Right. Service dogs
don't act like that.
But that's what, to your point. To your point is what I was trying to say is we couldn't turn around and say, well, you aren't disabled or you don't truly need a service dog, because we don't say that,
because that's a huge liability there.
So then we have to make rules that take that away.
I want to shout out, like our chat is blowing it up. They're doing a great job. Mikey Dreamer says Spawn Wave and RGT both covered this issue really well. So y'all go check out videos by them. Koopa Kid asked this: do you think the competitive nature of the tournament gaming is a put off to Nintendo, who wants to remain family friendly and maintain a squeaky clean image like that of old school Disney?
Possibly. They aren't as strict with their game limitations as they were in the 80s and early 90s. You can put that on PlayStation's plate today. But for a Nintendo published game, those are still relatively, E10 at best.
Absolutely.
Maybe if you're a Zelda, then you'll get the T. But other than that, you're not.
So also, content creation guidelines were updated as well, and Tim just blinked, man. He must have got the Thanos snap. He got the wrong end of the Thanos snap.
Did he lose power again?
Nintendo also updated content guidelines for content creators. Here
Yeah,
are
this
some
I
main points.
this I don't know as much about, but
Yeah,
what I
we're
have
gonna.
read, a lot of this stuff already existed. They're probably just reinforcing it.
Yeah, I'm just going to fly over this because it really doesn't affect as many people as the other did. The main points are that Nintendo, still opposes things like uploading their own soundtracks to your
And
channel.
see, and I am okay with that. That Nintendo, you have
Yes.
your right for that one. I'll give you
However,
that.
Nintendo should upload their soundtracks because we like their music. But
Yes.
that's a whole nother can of worms. Also, they've added
Then
in a lot of detail to content that it will object to, including data mined secrets. So they are going to be actively coming after accounts
and
more as
and
much
they
or more than they have
and
before.
again, then they always have been. They just haven't actually explicitly stated they're going to. But
But
now
now they
they're
are.
and again, this I'm okay with.
Yeah, these two things I'm fine. Here's some other things I'll just throw out here. You may monetize your videos and channels using monetization methods separately specified by Nintendo. Other forms of monetization on our IP for commercial purposes are not permitted. I agree with this. It's
Yeah.
their
So
IP. Totally fine.
you can monetize your Let's Play on YouTube.
Yeah.
There was a time when they wouldn't let you do that, and you actually had to apply to get a revenue share of that. I think I had a 5-cent check written once.
Yep. Those were the dark times before the Empire.
Uh-huh.
It says we also encourage you to create videos that include your creative input and commentary, videos and images that contain mere copies of Nintendo game content without creative input or commentary are not permitted. You
Again,
may, however, post
you
gameplay
do
videos.
So you do a Let's Play with your face on it and you're talking. That's perfectly fine.
If you do a Let's Play where it's just the game, not good.
Yeah, and when I got my start back on the Wii U, when I was only streaming 720p, that is what I used to do.
It
I didn't
does say
have
this.
the technology to do that yet.
This is an interesting footnote here. It says you may, however, post gameplay videos and screenshots using Nintendo system features such as the capture button on Nintendo Switch without additional input or commentary. Well,
And I'm glad that they did specify that because you really, without exporting it and then re-importing it into a video editor, there isn't a nice way to do it. People, like I can do it, Casey can do it. I don't know if you could or Tim could do it, but still, with the 30-second clips that are just easily set to send to Facebook and Twitter, it makes sense that they would allow that.
Yeah. You are only permitted to use Nintendo game content that is generated after the game has been officially released.
Now, this is what I'm worried about.
May be found here, or if it is from promotional materials officially released by Nintendo, such as product trailers or Nintendo Direct. So, in other words, you can no longer officially capture footage prior to the game's release and use that.
Yeah, I'm worried about. Well, yeah, obviously, like if I had a review copy of Wonder 3 weeks ago, it makes sense that I couldn't stream it then. But I streamed my legitimately bought copy last week Thursday before it released in North America. Would they ding me for that? I don't know. I streamed a purchased product from Nintendo.
And you usually say that too. Like
I did. I think I said it at least 3 times because people ask me, "How are you playing this now?"
Right.
Yeah. So to me, you would be covered by this because it has been officially released.
But it wouldn't have been released in North America yet. It didn't specify. Released. It didn't specify in the region you're playing from.
Hey, Jesse, these guidelines come from Nintendo of Japan. You were playing a Japanese copy of Mario Wonder, so I think you're going to be okay. There you go. A couple more here. If you want to use intellectual property of a third party, you are responsible for obtaining any necessary third party permissions. Well, duh. You're not permitted to imply or state that your videos are officially affiliated or sponsored by Nintendo. Are people doing this?
They must be.
Oh my. We reserve the right to object to any content that we believe is unlawful, infringing, inappropriate, or not in line with these guidelines. So, nothing, as you said, not a lot to see here.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything here that's new. They're just kind of spelling out what there have been and will continue to do.
Yep. So yeah, that's updated content guidelines. Not as offensive as updated tournament guidelines, but man, just sounds like a tightening of the screws, really.
And Tim is back. Apparently he did lose power for a bit.
Yep.
Wind is blowing really hard. All of a sudden it was like, oh, time to lose power.
Okay. Good deal. Let's move on to a couple more news items here. No Gravity Games is giving away games for Halloween season. This started October 25th. So on Wednesday, the 25th, you have to own any previous No Gravity Games game to get the game for free. Subsequent games have to have all previous games in your library to get the game of the day for free. Missed games will be on discount, so you can buy them and catch up. Some games may already have been part of previous game giveaways, so you may be good there. The last free game will be given away on the 31st. Wednesday's game is Creepy Tale. Today's game is Inner Voices. And so you can go on to the Nintendo eShop and follow along there, also on their social media.
And I already had those games from previous giveaways.
Yep.
So
good deal.
Hopefully there's at least one new game in this bunch that.
And speaking of games that are currently available, an appropriately spooky Halloween game, Cult of the Lamb, is now available as a game trial for Nintendo Switch Online subscribers through the 31st. It will also be 40% off, $14.99 until 11:59 p.m. on the 31st. So trick or treat, you get to serve as a spawn of Satan lamb. It goes around and possesses people. If you'll remember, Justin loved this one. I didn't. So anyway, totally fine. I thought it played well. I just wasn't okay with the theme. Definitely, y'all, definitely not family friendly. So this is one for mom or dad, not for the kids. But you can check it out for free. And don't forget, if you do the game trial, hop on over to the Nintendo Switch Online app and get your 100 free platinum coins for doing that as well. It is one of the challenges for this week.
My wife gives that game 2 thumbs up as well. She beat it as well.
Awesome.
This next game is family friendly.
Yes. Out now on Nintendo Switch. Mario Party 3 on Nintendo Switch Online plus expansion pack. So if you're an expansion pack member, fire up your Nintendo Switch and download Mario Party 3. Palm blisters not included. You have to produce those on your own. Well, guys, that's our news. Let's pause real quick for an ad break from our good friends over at Manscaped. Attention all sports enthusiasts and ball game aficionados. It's that magical time of the year when football is in full swing, basketball is back, and baseball players have us on the edge of our seats if we watch the sports balls. But speaking of ball games, it's time to talk about the champion of the grooming game. That's right. Manscaped has just launched the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra. It's like having a 6-man on your team, ensuring you stay smooth no matter what sport you're into. So don't strike out on this offer. I want to invite you to head over to manscaped.com and use the code NINDADS, that's NINDADS, to get 20% off and free shipping. Trust us, with the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, you will be the real MVP, both on and off the field. So when it comes to sports, it's important to know ball, and Manscaped sure knows balls. The Performance Package 5.0 includes the brand new Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, which takes your grooming precision to a whole new level, which uses 2 enhanced skin-safe blade heads. First, a head with an upgraded trimmer to get your grass in playing condition, and then a dual foil blade head for top-notch smoothness. And as Tim knows, football is a game of inches, but Manscaped knows grooming is a game of millimeters. Am I right, guys? With advanced grooming tools like the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, you can tackle any hairy situation and come out looking like an MVP. Also inside this bundle, made for balls, is featuring the new Weed Whacker 2.0 ear and nose hair trimmer, crop preserver ball deodorant, crop soother toner, and 2 free gifts. 2! Count them, 2. With all that in a bag of ballpark chips, there's no reason not to put your game face on and go give it a go. So head on over and get 20% off and free shipping with the code NINDADS, NINDADS, at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code NINDADS. We got balls and beard trimmers, but mostly we got balls. Back to the show.
Discord community events, of course, is the table, which we just did this past third Friday of the month, I should say, at 10 p.m. That's what we were talking about earlier. We actually got together and played Mario Wonder together in the in what was it called, the join in a room or whatever. So that was a fun. You can have up to 12 people join in a room, but only 4 people at a time in one level, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's why it was a time when I put up a standee, but Tim didn't see it in my
run,
game,
yeah.
Because I wasn't one of the 3 other people in his room.
Yep.
In his stage.
Well, I mean, yeah, in the stage. Yeah, that's right, in the stage, because we were all in the room. But yeah, and if we were all of us in the same level, we would only see a certain 3 people at one time. So, but it was still a blast. I highly recommend it if you can give it another chance. And I think we were going to try to see if we can get another get together in the Let's Play area to see if we can get a bunch of people together to play again. So, but again, the table is every third Friday of the month at 10 p.m. Eastern. It's where the community comes together and chit chats about everything under the sun, including games like Mario Wonder. And again, you have to be a subscriber to Patreon, or you can give us through Twitch your Twitch subscription, like your Amazon Prime, and you can get in that way. You can also participate in Monthly Mayhem, which the Dads After Dark show does every now and then. They right now have their 3rd annual Halloween Mayhem going on, and then soon they'll have a monthly Mayhem going on for November. So keep an eye out for that. And then there will be more coming up in the coming months.
I think they're supposed to be announcing something with Wonder either tonight or tomorrow.
Sweet. So stay tuned for that. We, of course, have other events going on through our communities and our family of podcast communities. So stay tuned for that as well. And then also don't forget to stay tuned to stay with us during Extra Life during the Extra Life weekend coming up the weekend of November 4th. Where we will be doing some events as well there for raising money. Marty's planning on doing just a chill Lego build, and I'm going to be hanging out for at least 12 hours. And then depending on how things are going, maybe I'll stay on longer, but a lot going on. The Friday NSO guys and I are planning on doing something for that as well, checking out that Mario Party 3 we were just talking about. Maybe doing that on a stream, and then all kinds of other stuff. Maybe even Mario Wonder. We'll try to get a group of people together like we were just talking about to play there too. So there'll be lots to do. You can come hang out, help us raise some money for Children's Hospital. And then also you can join our team, or if you just want to come hang out, you don't have to be on our team to come hang out, but bring your friends, give them the link, come help us raise money. My goal is to try to raise 2,000 because I want that rug. So the rug that they're giving out that for people who raise over $2,000. But of course, it all is for the children, and that's the main goal. So again, Extra Life is what's going on for the weekend of November 4th. So hang out with us if you can, and stay tuned to our streaming channels. That's it for events. On to timeout. It's all you, Jesse.
Okay, I have 2 topics. One will be quick, but the first one I want to talk about is I went to a water aerobics class with my wife earlier this week, and my legs are still sore from it, and I was only in the class for about half the time before I had to leave, because I have an issue breathing if a room is humid, is excessively humid, which in an indoor pool, almost always the case. I walk in, I can just feel the wall of moisture and I just instantly have a hard time breathing. This room was a large room. It actually had two separate pools with a hot tub in it, but I think it's because of the existence of that hot tub. Over time, I was feeling myself having a harder and harder enough time to breathe, and I finally had to get out of there. And so I don't know if I'll try that again, but yeah, my wife's wanted to go back to the gym and just signed up for a year membership, just to try to get strength in her legs and try to and lose weight, and I'm just trying to breathe here. Then the other thing I talked about earlier in the year, I've been trying to get into an intro to electronics class at our local community college. My wife gave me the idea while we were having our Valentine's night dinner. So it's been that long. I am finally registered into a class for
Yay.
for the spring term. I registered this morning. So it'll be the class will be Monday and Wednesday nights from 6 to 8:30, starting on January 17th until I think May 8th.
Nice.
So that's I'll be doing that for 2 nights a week for 4 months.
That sounds fun. Hopefully it is fun. Hopefully it turns out.
Hopefully I do have fun. Hopefully I learn what I want to learn from it.
Right.
And then hopefully I can then get back to these electronics projects kits that I have lying around, like this one. It's supposed to be an FM radio transmitter. I haven't even opened it.
Probably teach the class.
Well, in the theory part probably, but the actual doing part is I have not soldered anything successfully like in my life. I've tried multiple times and I screw it up somehow every time. So that's the part I really want to get. I want to improve on.
Okay, good deal.
Awesome.
So hoping a supervised lab class will help me do that.
Well, you know what we'll hear in future timeouts from Jesse.
Yep.
About the class. Awesome. Marty, do you have anything for timeout this week? No.
Nope.
All right, we'll just move along to what we've been playing. Well, we all talked about Mario Wonder, so how about Mario?
I have nothing else to talk about.
What else have you been playing?
It's all you two here.
Yeah. Go ahead, Marty.
You want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I saw this game on Twitter that kind of blew up over the last couple of days or last week. I did not know this thing was so popular, but apparently it is taking the Switch community by storm. It's called Suika Game, which is now available on the Switch. I believe for like $2 or $4. I can't remember what it is. It's a puzzle game where you drop fruit into a jar, and when the fruit touch each other, like if they're the same type, they combine and evolve into another form of fruit. And your idea is that you want to get your fruit to combine until they become the top level, and then they disappear and it clears the jar out and you have more room. If the fruit ever go over the top of the jar, you lose. And it's one of those games that's so simple that it sounds stupid, but then you play it and 2 hours later, you come up for air, right?
All right.
It's
$3 on the eShop.
Yeah, the visuals are super cute. The music is kind of charming, and right now it actually has a Halloween theme. So you can play with the regular fruit theme, or you could drop in and have like scary fruits. And it is the watermelon game. People are asking if it's the watermelon game. Yes, it is. So everybody's been talking about the watermelon game. I've seen a ton of people posting about it on Twitter. It's actually stolen time away from Mario Wonder for me this week. Because when I could be playing Wonder, I was playing.
That's why you're still in World 4.
Right. Well, that, and I have un poco time to play, video games some weeks. So yeah. I guess they just call it the watermelon game. It is, if you're wondering how it's spelled, it's Suika. I think it's pronounced, I hope it's Suika. Suika. I don't
That's
know.
how I would
Put
pronounce
the
it.
link in here for anybody who's in the chat. I put the link to the Nintendo.
Yeah, so
store
it's
for it.
there. Join us, become one of us, go download this. It's fun.
Join us.
Also, we did not get a code for this game, and so I finally just bought it. I was hoping we would. Nintendo said we would get a code, but we didn't. It's okay. It's okay. We still love you, Nintendo. Sonic Superstars is fantastic. I mean, there's some things about it that I think definitely aren't up to like Mario Wonder quality, but I'm having a great time with it. It's a return to form for Sonic. It's got a great art style. The music so far has been really good. The levels are absolutely massive and have multiple paths through. The boss fights are fun. And it's really cool. I'm a Sonic fan, but not at the level of Mario. Like Sonic was what made me buy a Sega Genesis back in the day. But I've never, he's always been number 2 to Mario. But I do like Sonic games. Really love Sonic 2 and 3 and Knuckles and Sonic CD. This feels like those games. All right. Like there's still the typical Sonic problems and things, but it's really neat. There's DLC offered. One of them's free. You can get Lego Sonic for free. So yes, one of the skins for Sonic is his Lego minifigure.
That's cool.
But you can also get Lego Amy, Lego Tails, Lego Knuckles. But you can also play as those characters, and they all have different play styles.
It's Lego, not that blockface garbage that Tim tried to show us a few weeks ago, is it?
No, it's
not garbage. Brickheads are awesome. What are you talking about?
Dude, that brickhead looks like it has some problems. That Sonic brickhead, no, that looks
Sonic
cool.
One. The Sonic, that's cool.
Have you seen the Sonic brickhead?
Yes, it doesn't look that bad.
It looks like it. Anyway,
it's like the ugly Sonic from the Chip and Dale movie.
The extra DLC
it's not the same. No,
the extra DLC is the 3 other Lego characters plus a couple of skins, because there's a battle mode for this game where you can construct a robot and fight each other. I haven't dipped into that or Time Attack. I've just been playing I'm on level 3. I've been playing it outside of Mario. I recommend it. There's probably people who would say it's not worth $60 because it is a $59.99 game. But if you like Sonic and you've been waiting for more good 2D Sonic like Sonic Mania, then this is right up your alley. I recommend it. The other game that I've been playing, and I sink a lot of time into this each week, is an iOS game, and I believe this maybe available on Android now. I'm not sure. I'm going to look it up right now before I say anything.
I was going to search for it too while you talked.
Well, why don't you do that? It's called Transformers Tactical Arena, and this is really Clash Royale, but with G1 Transformers. Advance.
Google says it's iOS, tvOS, and Mac OS only.
Okay, so it's coming to Android eventually. So the idea is that you build your team of Transformers, and they all do different things. Some of them have different modes where if you tap the card twice, it'll flip over to their vehicle side, and you can use them. Like Starscream can fly over and bomb, or he can fly to a part on the map, transform, and start blasting. Bumblebee will transform into a car and drive over and punch. Optimus Prime can ram the other player's turrets with his truck form. They've even managed to squeeze in Scorponok and Omega Sentinel and Beast Wars characters, and it's really well done. Voiced and art is amazing, and it was Apple Arcade at first, but now the last couple of months, or within the last 5 months or so, it's gone free to play on just the iOS store. And it's great. So if you're a Transformers fan, I would highly recommend this. If you like Clash Royale, this I liked Clash Royale, but I never really got into it. But this is on theme for me as a Transformers fan. You could, and like, I guess this follows the way the other games do too, is like you can beat, if you beat an opponent, you get a box and you wait and open it up and it has cards, and you'll either get new Transformers or you'll get the ability to upgrade the ones you have. And so it's phenomenal. And so I would check that out if you're on iOS at all. Hopefully it will come to Android soon. It's a lot of fun. I worked my way up all the levels when it was on arcade. So like you couldn't pay for anything. Like there was no way to buy more currency or to buy more cards or anything. You had to earn it. Now you can buy your way to the top, which kind of sucks, but it's how they make money, right? That's why I don't like mobile games. I just wish that, like, I wish that they would just give you the whole package. But this is,
I'm looking at the website for it, and it does say it's Apple exclusive, but it does look pretty sweet though.
And it's I play it every day. Tim, you got to check this out. I'm serious. Okay. It's so good. It's so good. I can't quit playing it. Anyway, they did it justice. That's what I've been playing. What have you been playing?
I've been playing Metal Gear Solid Master Collection, which I did a stream of to show it off because I know a lot of people are curious how this game would look on the Nintendo Switch. And I have to say, I mean, I wasn't disappointed. I wasn't expecting, obviously anything PS5 level or anything like that, but I just wanted to have fun with it. I wanted it to be playable. I didn't want it to be janky. I wanted to be able to get in and because Metal Gear, the first ones,
these are PS2 and PS3 games, right?
Metal Gear Solid came out on the PS1.
Okay,
first one, and that's
so it's not even like the GameCube version,
right? Well,
Sons of Liberty.
It has the first three. I couldn't tell you exactly which versions they used, but it is. It's definitely playable. I had fun with it. I can't remember anything I did when I played it the first time. But there were some things that triggered my memory. But sitting here and saying, okay, I remember this, this, and this, I won't remember it until I'm actually into the game. But they definitely show their love for the game and what they give to fans. They give you fan service. They put the package together well when you're jumping into it. Konami usually does well with like their collections. So I wasn't surprised by that either, that they did well with it. The only thing that I was really upset about, I probably shouldn't be this upset about packaging, but I was like, who at Konami approved this small fine print to be printed all over the artwork on the inside? Who approved that? A non-gamer or nobody who doesn't know the history of Metal Gear decided to say, yeah, let's save a few pennies and go ahead and just print it on the back of that. Nobody looks at that.
Who were the ad wizards who came up with this one?
Like, you could have put it on a little sheet of paper and stuck it in there. Come on. Yeah, would we have all thrown it away? Yes, I would have thrown it away, but you wouldn't have destroyed the back of the artwork on comic book artwork that was done there. So, but anyways, I think if you're a fan of it and you only have the Nintendo Switch or you want to be able to play it portably, you definitely should pick up Metal Gear Solid Master Collection. I think it's worth it. And that's just based on playing the first one. So if you need more on being able to play the other two games, I'll have to get back to you on that one. But so far, playing the first game and looking at the content within the game, the history of Metal Gear Solid, and the soundtrack and all that stuff, all that it comes with, seems like it's well worth it. And I wasn't disappointed yet. So definitely something to put on your Christmas list, especially if you're a Metal Gear Solid fan. If you've never played them before, and you like stealth games, it is another set of games that it's probably good, especially to pick up in the collection. So highly recommended so far. The other game I've been playing is Gordian Quest. This is also a game that John Zablanc did at on from the Dads After Dark show. He did a first look of this game for us over there, so that's out on video there as well. And I'm starting to play around with it too, and I'm gonna do a let's play on it just once I get my hands a little bit more dirty in the game. But it's basically a card based RPG with a lot of D&D elements in it, which is like really cool because I've been playing Baldur's Gate 3 with Sam and Shannon on over the weekends, and that's all fully D&D, but this is not endorsed, say, by D&D, but it does use the D20 elements and a lot of elements from, say, the D&D role-playing genre, because it uses the 20-sided die. It does use strength, dexterity, intelligence, all the kind of abilities you would have in a D&D game. It uses those, so you can get some bonus rolls because of that, or bonuses to your roll because of those, depending on what your levels are. They have multiple players that you can choose from, or characters you can choose from, like monks and clerics and fighters and wizards. So and again, you build a deck too, or you get some cards to use to make your moves to play. So, and it's also can be as easy as you want to play it or as hard as you want to play it, because it can be set to play where if you die, you go back and start over, but you're not permanently dead. So it's kind of like roguelite, but you can get a little bit more difficult in the roguelite area where if you die, you can be resurrected, or you can do roguelike. You switch it to a roguelike so if you die, you're dead. There is no coming back, and you got to get a different character to try to go make that new run. So like I said, you can make it as easy or as hard as you want. I'm like in the middle where I'm just kind of like, if I die, I have to go back and kind of regroup and start over. And I have to either rest or heal my players after they get resurrected, essentially. And again, I love a good card-based battle system, so this one seems to be pretty good. I'm still learning some of the ins and outs, and that's why I want to play it a little bit longer, and then I'll do a let's play video of it to kind of share what I've learned with the game so far. So a lot of fun. Again, that was called Gordian Quest. Not Guardian, Gordian. I haven't quite figured out why it's called Gordian instead of Guardian. But
because Gru from the Minions is trying to say it. It's trying to say Guardians. Gordian Quest.
Right.
Girls, come in and play Gordian Quest.
Like every time I read it, I was like,
Gru impression.
Is that a typo? Is it supposed to be Gordian? Gordian.
Right. Before we move on, I have some breaking news. This is so far only announced in Japan. We may or may not see this, but they announced releasing November 10th. They're going to do a Super Mario Party physical release that's packed in with two Joy-Con, kind of like this, a light purple and a light green.
Oh, wow.
It priced at just under 11,000 yen, so it'll probably, if this comes out here, it might be 70 or $75.
That's like a free game.
Wow.
Or a free set of Joy-Cons. I mean, hey, we'll see. They might be willing to bundle up some old games this holiday.
Oh, and they've done that before, where you can buy a set with the controller and the game. So that's cool.
Okay, good deal.
Community Spotlight. All right. So we got a few questions left from the community that we'd like to get through and get them answered, and then we'll send you all home and have a good night. So first question.
Get back to playing Wonder.
And get back to playing Wonder or whatever you're playing. So, or getting some sleep because you woke up at 5:30 in the morning. Mecca asks, what's the longest game session you had at once without taking a break or anything? Of course, with bathroom breaks in between, but the longest uninterrupted gaming session.
I don't
I would
know the exact amount, but I would say probably when I was playing Dragon Quest 11, because I started playing that near the end of the year, so a few months after it came out, and I had 2 weeks off of work, and I put in like 50 hours in a week, like more than a full time job. So I don't know. So I'd say probably 10 to 12 hours. In a day when I was in the middle of that. Like that's all I did all that week.
Yeah. So if Extra Life doesn't count, because I think that would be the easy thing, right?
24 hours of gaming.
Yeah, 24 hours. If Extra Life doesn't count, then it would be there was, I forget which Halo game it was that had challenges that you would complete to earn XP, like not just play online. I think maybe it was Halo 4 that did this, but there was one that like you had to get this like I think it was 500 kills in deathmatch, and I had like 200 something, and it was ending the next day, and I didn't have anything to do, and so I set up overnight. Like I played from
Marathoned
8 o'clock. I played 8 o'clock at night until like 8 o'clock the next morning. Got up to go to the bathroom and get drinks. That was it. That was it. That one sticks out in my mind. Is Halo. Yeah.
One
Fun at first. We got down to like that. I got down to like that last 50 kills. I was like, oh my gosh.
One that I actually forgot to mention during what we've been playing is that I actually did a long run of, because I knew I was getting close to beating it, was Cocoon. So I played that this week and beat it. And I spent I knew I was getting close to the end. So I probably did a good 4-hour run on it. And that's what usually happens is if I know I'm close or I know I can get a good chunk out of it, my runs are usually about 4 to 6 hours. If everything works out, if the planets align, everything's done and out of the way at home and all that kind of stuff, or everybody's kind of doing their own thing. And that means staying up late too, by the way. So that means like 4 to 6 hours of, meaning that's going to go past midnight into like 2-3 o'clock in the morning territory. So
Listen, I really feel for you having the runs for 6 hours. That's
yeah.
awful.
Well, then more recently, I think maybe sometime last month, I had like a 6-hour session of poker on the PlayStation VR. I think I played from like 8 until 2 in the morning. Just went from tournament, single table tournament to single table tournament. If I got knocked out early, I just hung out at the table and just talked. And that was because the guys who play the single table tournaments are just fun to talk to. People who play the cash games, they're jerks. But
got their hoodies on and sunglasses. No.
yeah, you can't really go. You can't go there in the VR. But
I know. All right. Next question is from Darth Platypus. What is the scariest game that you've played?
Oh. Ooh.
I know I said this before, but I don't play scary games. But the time where I got jump scared the most, or that I didn't see it coming, was playing Arkham Knight. I was, grappling around the city, and all of a sudden, Man-Bat was right in my face.
That freaked me out. Whoever thought of that though? Genius. I played Resident Evil 2 on the Nintendo 64. But I had invincibility. Does that count? I don't play scary games either because I don't like being scared. I don't at all. So I'm going to say that one time, my students at my last church, this is going to be a very specific thing. They talked me into hooking my laptop up to my TV, turning off all the lights, and playing the Slender Man game. The very first one, where like you're wandering around in the woods trying to find, it's like on a web browser or something. I can't remember. Yeah, I hated it. It was stupid. Why would anybody do that? Why would you play a game to scare yourself? I can't do it. Like, that's why I can't play Last of Us. I'm halfway through Last of Us Remake, Part 1, and I cannot make myself play it because I hate walking into a building and hearing bang.
All those noises around the corner. Yeah.
God.
So I don't purposely play scary games either, but if a game has some scary elements in it, I will play it. Like Dementium, I've played that. And even, yes, the graphics aren't crazy good on a DS when you're playing that game, but there's still some jump scares in there. But games that are first person in general, where you're in the dark and you turn a corner and something's like right there, that'll get me right there. Like Doom. Like there would be plenty of times I'll be running through a game and then turn a corner and then there's this demon right there, and you weren't expecting, and it's like makes you like jump back and you just start firing off all your guns at it, like So
I don't like the spoopy games.
Yeah. So again, I would say Dementium is pretty scary, and I know there's a re-release of that on the Switch. So if you want a good scary game, go check that out.
The other game I thought of is not necessarily scary, but it does have psychological horror. It does mess with your brain. We've talked about it in the show a dozen times. Doki Doki Literature Club.
Yes. that does mess with your mind.
I feel like Undertale has a few and like subtle horror elements to it as well.
That's true.
And so does Deltarune.
I'm still waiting for chapter 3 on that one.
There's supposedly going to be 6 or 7 chapters, which the 7th chapter will probably come out when I'm dead.
No, that's scary.
All right. Beer asks, how are you all celebrating Halloween this year? Are any of you planning to dress up? If so, what are your costumes? Also, what's the one candy you look for when rating the kids' Halloween bags? Reese's Cups. That's what
Reese's Cups.
That's the only right answer.
Chocolate in general is dad tax. I'm like, I have done for you, and now I'm taking my 10%.
It's like, oh, you can't have this one. Why? Because
you can't. Yeah,
though my kids are no longer of trick or treating age, so
yeah.
If I want my dad tax, I have to buy it myself.
So we do a big thing, like you've heard of Trunk or Treats, I'm sure, where it's like a line of cars. Well, we don't do that because Halloween weather here in West Tennessee can actually be kind of predictable, or unpredictable. Last year, it was hot outside. The year before that, it was cold. The year before that, there was literally a tornado warning in the middle of our event, or at the end of our event as we were cleaning up. So, and it's predicted to, we're predicted, it was 81 degrees here today. We're predicted to get our first freeze on Halloween night here. So,
I believe
we moved it inside and we call it Trail of Treats. And we give away, I know for sure, I will tell you this, we've ordered from a website, we ordered 5,000 pieces of candy, and we've gotten in enough candy to fill up the space underneath my desk right here, from the floor to the top to the underneath of the countertop.
That's not enough.
Yeah, no, it's not. I don't know how much, like if I could get a piece, I'll try
to get. Is that candy calling to you?
As we're dumping bags on Sunday night, I will see if I can get a count of how many pieces of candy that we have, and then add some to it, because that's like people just bring in their own too. But we just give away a massive amount of candy, free hot dogs and popcorn and stuff. And that's how we spend Halloween each year. And then
awesome.
Look, somebody asked, what's our Halloween tradition? Here it is. 50-cent corn dogs at Sonic.
Yes.
We go and will be
I
like,
actually went to
yeah,
Sonic this afternoon and saw that they got 50 cents going again next week.
there's nothing like pulling up to Sonic and being like, yeah, I'm gonna need 2 large Coke Zeros, a large grape slush with nerds, a large Dr. Pepper, and 12 corn dogs, please.
Right.
So there you go. And they're good corn dogs. They
The
are.
microwaves are going to get a workout that night.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're definitely going to do that. And there's my wife, the lady who was the librarian at her school growing up, actually lives right behind here. And we just take our kids by there every year, and she gives them candy because
Nice.
she's lives so far off the road,
Yeah.
like back on this road that she doesn't get a lot of trick or treaters. So we just do that. Yeah. So
Awesome.
it's our tradition. And my one candy is Twix. I love Twix.
Yeah, I've never been much of a caramel fan, but I do like the peanut butter Twix.
Ooh. Ooh.
Again,
I like
it's just Reese's in a different shape with a little cookie in it.
But the crunch thing is like all like Oreo flavor. It's chef's kiss.
Yes.
Yeah.
Peanut butter
I don't
Twix
plan
are-
on dressing up, but my son normally dresses up as Joker from Persona 5. And if he does it again this year, I asked him and he said he probably would. It'll be his 3rd year running with this costume. So he's getting money out of what he's invested in.
Nice.
I dress up every year for a brief time as an inflatable dinosaur.
That's funny.
My oldest daughter has one of those. Used to have one of those.
Last year, my son greeted at the door. He had an inflatable Among Us costume. He was the red Among Us.
That sounds sussy.
So he was the hit. I mean, people loved him. It was great.
I'm usually the one who's handing out the candy because I love doing that, and I dress up as Death or the Reaper. And I just got new things that I'm just putting on, new claws for my hands that I'm putting on right now to show it off. That allows you to move your fingers and look a little bit more creepier. So,
I've seen those.
Oh, those are awesome. I was going to dress up this year.
It would make it hard to grab candies.
Yeah. I was gonna. I just want y'all to know I couldn't find all the stuff to put the costume together, but I was gonna dress up this year as the mech and dream doth it rolls, baby.
Of course,
it's gonna be there giving out the candy and the plunder with the bicycle. When they hit it with a bicycle.
So now I'm remembering the one year I actually put effort into making my own costume was back. I think it was 99, 98 when I used to work at a bingo hall. And one side was like a bingo card that had like 10s and 31s and every iteration of that around, like marked, and one of them was going to hit a bingo, and the back side of it, I think that was the back side. The front side was like the pull tab. Again, also like a Halloween themed where. And it actually had you opened up the parts to show the game inside, and the game one was like a $1,031 winner. And so like one line was $1,000, another line was $30, and another line was $1.
Wow.
So
that's hilarious.
That's involved. That's good.
Did you save that costume?
I did not.
All right, I'm going to answer
that was 25 years ago.
I'm going to answer the question with Mo Spankin's question because it kind of goes along with his. He's got a similar themed question here, which is, do the dads have any Halloween traditions, which you kind of talked about already, or any spooky season movies, shows, or games that they like to watch or play with the family? I have found myself this year watching all the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror specials on Disney Plus, and I usually try and play a Resident Evil game in the month of October. What say you, dads? I was going to say in the previous question, but saw this in this question, that part of our tradition is to watch Beetlejuice. It's been something that my family did when I was a kid. When it was available on VHS, we started doing that. And then I carried on that tradition here. So we always watch it on or around Halloween. The kids don't stick around to watch it too much anymore with me, but because they're all in their teens and kind of bored of that now. But anyway, I still do it. So Beetlejuice, and then sometimes Nightmare Before Christmas. It just depends on what kind of mood I'm in.
That's more. We watch that at Christmas instead of at Halloween.
We watch it both times.
Well, we have this like whole regiment of Christmas specials and things that we watch every year, so it fits better there. But our Halloween tradition is the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown.
Yes.
And homemade popcorn.
That's just a given. That one, that's part of everybody's tradition, right?
Yeah, it's always been the Great Pumpkin. And the corn dogs. That's the other thing. So
yes.
Good questions in the chat. I was going to throw some of these in here. Have you ever done family themed costumes?
The closest we did once, when before I remarried, so it was just me and my two kids. I didn't dress up, but this was like right after Tobey Maguire Spider-Man was in theaters. So my son was Spider-Man and my daughter was Mary Jane.
Oh, that's cool.
We colored her hair red, which was a mess trying to wash out.
I can't remember. I don't think we did.
I don't think we did, but we had a family come through Trail of Treats a few years ago. The dad was Toad, the mom was Princess Peach, and they had a baby and a baby carrier on the dad's front that they had mocked up to look like a warp pipe, and they had their baby dressed as Mario inside the warp pipe, and their dog was Luigi.
I was gonna say was it Yoshi, but
or maybe he was Yoshi. Maybe he had a Yoshi costume. It was adorable. It was the best. And I was sitting outside like taking tickets and stuff, and I had a brown shirt, brown sweatpants, and I had a Donkey Kong hat and tie on. So I got a picture with them.
Nice.
It was awesome. If we did a costume contest, which we didn't, because I learned a few years ago that nobody is ever happy at a costume contest.
No.
And I'm not gonna do that and get yelled at. Yeah. So anyway, if we had, they would have won.
Right.
I would have just been like, all right, the rest of y'all go home. Bye.
Then everybody else wouldn't have been happy, and thus your rules there.
Yeah.
Been broken. So
another question we got is, if you guys had to pick a dad to dress up as and go trick-or-treating, who would you pick?
I'm gonna go as Business Justin.
That's kind of where I was gonna go. Yeah.
Well, let's all dress up as Business Justin.
I'm gonna go as Bahama Shirt Jesse.
There we go. Yes, that works too.
That's who I want to go.
Employee of the Year.
That is a fun shirt.
Employee of the Year with my plaque and my Bahama shirt.
I like that one.
Yeah. Well, guys, that's the end of our show. I want to thank you for hanging out with us for episode 450 of Nintendo Dads. Like Tim said at the top of the show, we're 50 episodes away from the big 500. And so we want to thank you for supporting us. And again, a huge thanks to our Patreon producers and all of our folks who support us over at patreon.com/Nintendo Dad. Nintendo Dads. Patreon producers Dave Ernsberger, Jacqueline Amira, RJ Kern, thank you for being at that level. But also a huge shout out to our other 90 plus patrons. We thank you for being a part of this awesome community. Special thank you to our 13 Twitch Prime subscribers as well. Over 1,400 Twitch followers, and we're already getting close to 7,100 YouTube subscribers. We're only 9 away. So if you're not a subscriber, you can go over there and check it out. Just like you're going to go and check a Splatfest this weekend, by the way. Splatfest is Team Zombie, Team Ghost, Team Monster, or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, go play Splatoon. It'll remind you how much you suck at it, just like me. But thanks. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for you. You can head over to nintendodads.org and check out our Spotify podcast feeds for our show, as well as all of our other shows like Dads After Dark and Retro Logic and their family of podcasts. Our latest YouTube videos and tweets, links to all of our social media, Patreon, and Extra Life pages. And there's brand new merch over on the Nintendo Dads merch page. Yeah, that's right. You can be Nintendo Dads World Order, baby, for life. We've got the regular version as well as the superior Wolfpack version that you can go over there and buy right now, as well as Business Justin 316 shirts, stickers, and even a mini skirt with my face on it. That's right. My wife discovered that you can buy a mini skirt with my avatar on it. I asked her if she was going to buy it, and she said, heck no. And I said, I get it. I understand. It's weird. Anyway, head over to nintendodads.org for all that good stuff. Don't forget to check out our sponsors, Manscaped, over at manscaped.com, where you can get 20% off your order and free shipping with the code NINDADS. And HelloFresh is now sponsoring us as well. You can head over to HelloFresh.com and get 50% off and no shipping on your first HelloFresh box by using the code 50 Nintendo Dads. 50 Nintendo Dads. Just remember, it's 50% off. That'll help you. You can contact us in most places by typing in Nintendo Dads in the search bar, or email us at nintendodads@gmail.com, or call in. We'd love to hear your beautiful, wonderful voice at 929-25-NDADS. That's 929-256-3237. Big thanks to OC Remix for the music used throughout the show. And reminder, wherever you download us as an audio version on your podcatcher app of choice, please go leave us a 5-star review and some written words. It helps people find the show. And you can go in there if you'd like to, and you can say what's your favorite Nintendo Dad is. Who's your favorite? You can talk about Tim's creepy bone fingers. You can talk about Jesse's Bahamas shirt, or you can talk about Justin's inability to grow a beard. All of those things. Over, just be sure to leave the 5-star review before you do that. For me, for Tim, for Jesse, and for Justin, this has been Nintendo Dads, episode 450. We'll see you next week. Lord willing and the creek don't rise. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Nintendo Dads.
Soundwave superior, Constructicons inferior.
What's wrong with you?